Hi everyone. Hi Max. Pau. Pantheon, DA, Shelly, right place, wrong person. How is everyone doing? Echo, yes. Oh my god, guys. I'm so excited. Actually, I'm going to show it right now. So, all of this happened this morning, literally. Oh, well, hours ago. Some hours ago. so, um so first of all, it was reported that BTS's Jin will be returning with a new album in May. It says regarding Jin's new album released in May, his agency Big Hit Music told X Sports News on the 14th, we are currently preparing for a comeback with the goal of a May release. More details will be revealed as they are finalized. Now, immediately, a couple of hours later, Big Hit announcement. Everything went so fast. I thought it was a joke. Honestly, whenever this type of news come from the media, I just wait. I don't get excited. I just wait until they are confirmed by Big Hit. And immediately Big Hit confirms it. And it says, we are excited to announce the release of BTS Jin's second solo album, Echo. Echo combines universal life experiences and emotions through Jin's unique and charming perspective. The album features 7 tracks that showcase his versatile vocals against a dynamic band sound. Band sound. We're getting rock vocalist Jin again. I'm just so excited because I loved Happy and I was really not expecting for another album by Jin. Guys, 7 more songs. 7 more songs. It's a rock album. Through Echo, we hope Jin's heartfelt wish to connect with his fans more frequently resonates with you. We ask for your continued love and support for BTS Jin and his new album Echo. And then there was another notice, and it says Jin Echo Mission Success Army Found Echo event. So there's going to be an event apparently. Um, I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I'm just excited for all of this because this picture here it says rock you, and here it says born to be wild. I don't know what it says here. What does it say? Eat loud, loud, play it. I don't know. But I'm just so excited because it says rock you here in less than an hour. Yes, everything went so fast. I was not planning to talk about this at all today, but I'm just so excited because out of nowhere the announcement, like I was waiting for um J-Hope's third song, and honestly I was expecting like no more music. But no, there's going to be a new album. Another Level was one of my favorites. Mine too. I'm just so excited because I really loved how Happy was more into the rock side. Because I always knew that Jin was going to shine with rock songs. So, how is everyone doing? Oh, wait a second. Okay. Play it loud. Oh, yeah, it says that. Play it loud. Born to be wild. And this one, what does this one say? Rock your heart out. I'm just so excited. I know this is not probable, but can you imagine Jin with a glam rock look? Honestly, I don't know what to expect with BTS anymore. I really don't because I try to stay updated for the channel with every single clue that they give, every single comment, and I try to remember the hints and what they're about to do every single time that they talk about things and stuff. And I just did not expect an album. Shani, hi. You say hi to me. I'm saying hi. With long hair like in the 80s. I mean, that would be crazy. We had 11 albums and so many singles in this hiatus. Honestly, and I'm just so excited. Can you tell that I'm excited? Because I was just so ready for J-Hope's third single. And genuinely, I thought that, okay, then we're going to have to wait a little bit for the reunion album. Maybe I just was not expecting an album. I was just not expecting an album by Jin. And it's going to be on May. So not even like in a couple of months. No, it's basically next month already. Also, the way the E in Echo is a heart. Right. I didn't notice that. And of course, Jin is inside the O. Marcos, I noticed. I noticed you changed your profile picture. So hello again. We are so spoiled, extremely, extremely spoiled. I'm just so excited. Do you guys think he's going to do something like promote it? Is he going to music shows? Is he going to? Of course, we're going to get. Of course, we're going to get live performances, but where and how? And are they going to be on Bangtan TV or maybe on TV on Korean music shows or in American music shows? I don't know. I think he'll do a Festa live performance. That would make a lot of sense, actually. A Tiny Desk Korea. Oh my God, guys. I think we're going to get it because it fits, right? It fits like the genre of the album with Tiny Desk Korea. I think we're going to get it. A concert, maybe like a showcase in Korea, maybe. Hmm. Mini concert. I think a mini concert, maybe. Oh yeah, imagine if he will be a guest on one of Coldplay concerts. That's what I see a lot of people saying. Honestly, I don't know. But who knows? At this point, I just don't know what to expect. It doesn't matter how much I look for clues or hints or I try to guess. They're just always going to surprise me somehow. Collab with J-Hope? Oh my god. I don't know. I mean, I would love to. I would love to have a collab with J-Hope. I'm so excited for what it's to come. Me too, because I genuinely thought, okay, J-Hope is going to finish his um Asian leg of the concert of the tour, and then I was like, okay, then we're going to have nothing because we're just going to have to wait a little while they prepare for the reunion and when they rest and all of that. Um, I guess not. And that was what Jin was talking about all this time. He kept saying, yeah, I'm working. I'm working on stuff. It was this, basically. And I just cannot believe that it's been 6 months since Happy, right? Just time goes so fast. There's also the scavenger hunt for the release date today at 6 a.m. KST, so in 35 minutes. Yes, I put the notice here. Um but I don't know what is it going to be about. Like, what are they? What is going to show? How did he find? How did he find time and doing Ranjan and Kian SBS and other things? No idea. But Jacob said that Jin is very good at all of this, doing all of this TV stuff, variety shows. And of course, we know that Jin is also good at his music. So it all makes sense. He's very hardworking. Everything's happening so fast. Yes. And I just don't believe that, I don't know, before the reunion, we get this album. And I feel like it's not just going to be J Hope's song and Jin's album. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know. Bora, can you make the announcement bigger? It's hard to see. Mm, I don't think I can. Maybe like this. So I'm just excited because it says it's a rock album. And for Happy, I didn't think they said that it was a rock album. So I was not expecting a rock album, and it was like more rock than I thought it would be. Did they say it was a rock album, Happy? I don't remember. But this is definitely going to be. There's literally a song called um how is it? Born to be wild. I don't remember this phrase. Something about rock. I think this album might be a little darker than Happy. I think so as well. My bet is a Coldplay collab in there for sure. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know why. It's just an instinct. I don't see Coldplay involved at all in this album. But again, maybe I'm completely wrong. My sister always tells me this. Like, I have theories and they have been completely different to reality. I just don't, I don't know. Because I was already thinking, J Hope is working so hard close to the reunion. Basically, BTS reunites and he's still performing. J Hope, BTS reunites and J Hope is still has his Lollapalooza performance. So even before the reunion, Jin is also going to release his album. And it's just crazy. Like, they love releasing music because at this point they really don't have to. Like, J Hope already released one album, but no, he released a second album and three more singles. And then Jin already released his album and one single. Like, he doesn't have to do more, but he still decides to do another album. And I'm sorry, but I just have to say this. This is why I mean by some weeks ago I said that I kept reading everywhere on TikTok and Twitter and everywhere. So many armies kept saying, I just want BTS to rest. I just want BTS to rest. And believe me, I do too. But sometimes that's not what they want. Or sometimes they can rest just for a couple of months. And armies keep saying, I kept reading comments of armies saying, I just want them to rest for the rest of the year, like for the next 6 months. And then they can actually start preparing everything in 2026. But that's you, though. Like, you don't know their intentions. Like, you don't know what they want. And they're going to do whatever they want to do. So if Jin wants to release 2 albums before the reunion, he's going to release 2 albums before the reunion. That's his decision. And that, like I said, it's very obvious at this point that no one is forcing them to do this because in any case, he will feel forced to release one album, not two. And also, he would be forced to release one album but not participate on Netflix show and variety shows and run Jin. He decides to do all of that because that's what he wants. This is what Jin wants. So the same with J-Hope and every single member. So we just need to let them do their thing because I really don't like those comments of I just want them to rest. I just wish BTS just rest or whatever. I understand the sentiment. I understand um, that it's a nice wish, but what you think is best for you is not necessarily what's best for everyone else. Jin's heartfelt wish to connect with his fans more frequently. Exactly. Because, like I said, Jin really doesn't have to do all of these crazy schedules. He decides to do it because he wants to. BTS always knows what's best for them. Exactly. And like they've said many times, we just have to trust them because they only know their own schedule. Like we don't know. We don't know. And it's their dreams and their art and what they want to do. Like J-Hope, he didn't want to do any kind of variety show. He was barely in one Ranjin. J-Hope just doesn't want variety shows. He was on that one refrigerator show or whatever, but he wants to do other things, and Jane wants to do other things. What subgenres of rock come to your mind when you think about this album? Hmm. I don't know why I feel like um from Happy, what is that song? Wait a second. I feel like it's definitely going to be a darker album because as you can see, just look at the visuals. The visuals for another level. The visuals for Happy were very bright. So I was not expecting another level in there. Now, Echo screams another level, like visually to me. So, like, it's a black cover with all of these words. I don't know. I feel like it's going to be an album full of another levels. Um, if that makes any sense. People keep saying glam rock. I don't know why I don't see it. Old school rock, thinking 70s, no comment. That's probably my least favorite type of rock music. But whenever I say those things, like I don't like this genre and BTS is going to release that genre, they still make it work and I still end up liking it. I do see the 70s graphics. That would make sense. I'm thinking more of like Foo Fighters. Yes, that's what I'm thinking as well. But again, my sister says my guesses are horrible, so I don't know. So I don't know. Like Fallout Boy, mm, yeah, a little bit musically, but not the vocals. I feel like Fallout Boy. Is Queen rock? Yes. I do see Foo Fighters, something similar to Foo Fighters. Gothic rock? I don't see Jin doing gothic. I don't see Jin doing gothic. I don't see Fall Out Boy. Oh no. Yeah, like not the vocals. I don't see Jin doing Fall Out Boy vocals. I see Jin doing kind of like Foo Fighters, to be honest. One OK Rock, One Ok Rock. Jin already did One Ok Rock. Like Happy is very One Ok Rock because the singer from One Ok Rock, he worked on Happy. So I think it's going to be different. I don't know. I think it's going to be more like a stronger rock. I don't know. I feel like whatever genre he'll do, I'm gonna love it no matter what. Yeah, me too. Because I was genuinely not expecting Happy to be a rock album, and we ended up having a rock album. New metal, there's no way. There's no way. For new metal, we will have like Jin will have to rap and or do something similar to rap. And I don't think it's that type of rock music. Also, the cover doesn't give me new metal. Alternative rock, I don't know because alternative rock is a little bit like softer. Rap Jin. I would love another female collab. Mm, definitely. But I don't know. Maybe I'm a little too excited because, like you said, when these boys complimented Jin's so well, and that is 100% true. However, um, she's not a rock vocalist. So remember, for example, what's the name of the song? Na, 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 na. Namjoon has the collaboration with that girl. What's it? Oh, Namjoon has a collaboration with one rock singer, the female singer. I see something like that. So Yoon, yes, her. Smoke Sprite. So I'm expecting things more like similar to that because she has a rock band. She started in a rock band and then she became like a soloist, but she has a rock band. So I'm thinking more of something similar to that. Rock bisons. But at the end of the day, I'm just thinking, I'm just going crazy. I'm just excited because we just have to wait. We're just going to have to wait. Featuring Haley Williams. The colors are bright on their Twitter accounts. Yes, but they are not happy type of bright. They are other type of bright colors. Um Indie rock, I don't know. I'm just very specific with rock music and metal music because that is my favorite genre. So I have very specific preferences. So I'm just going to shut up and just we're just going to have to wait. I'm just excited. Who said EDM? This is definitely not going to be EDM. Hi, Bora. We just got here. What are we discussing? We're still not discussing anything. We're just talking about Jen's new album, Echo, being released in May. I'm just so excited. It's psychedelic colors. Exactly. It's a little different to the happy colors. Have you seen that the Echo colors are the happy colors mixed? Yes, I saw a little bit of that. I'm hoping for some metal vibes. Me too. Me too. We're going to be so wrong. I feel it. You know what? I agree. We're always clowns. we we always have it get it wrong. But I don't care. Bora, do you play any instrument? No. I wish. But I want to play the drums. But they are super expensive, but I want to get a set of a drumming kit, a drumming set. Clowns. Yeah. We're always wrong. Why do I feel like he'll do some showcase in the US? Mm, I'm not sure. I'm not. I genuinely at this point I have no idea about the promotions because before I was thinking actually for my predictions for J Hope were kind of right because um I said I wanted oops for for J Hope I said I wanted wait what is happening because mm, okay now it's okay. For J Hope I wanted Studio Chum. For J Hope I wanted Jimmy Fallon. For J Hope I wanted um like a TikTok dance or some kind of dance challenge. And I got all of it. Like I got it right. We got Jimmy Fallon, we got Studio Chum, and we got the choreography. I got it right. So sometimes I'm right. Sometimes. Jimmy Fallon, maybe. I don't see Jenna Jimmy Fallon this time. I don't know why. Maybe it's because he was already there. Um, and in just 6 months, he will be there again. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think Jimmy Fallon invites the same person twice in 1 year. Um, I do see Tiny Desk for Jen. I see Tiny Desk. I see definitely live band performance. I don't see choreography, but I don't know. Something tells me music show performance. I don't know why. I don't think he's going to dance, but I feel like he's going to perform at some type of music show, Korean music show. Um, Imagine a choreo. Oh my god, like no, I have no idea. BBC Radio. That would make a lot of sense. BBC Radio would make a lot of sense, but I'm not so sure. He still needs Jimmy Kimmel. I think you mean Jimmy Fallon because BTS went to Jimmy Kimmel one time and they never went back. And I can guess why. I hate Jimmy Kimmel. Like I don't like him. I'm sorry. But they're good with Jimmy Fallon, so he's really hinting a concert though. He is. He doesn't have a lot of songs to do a a concert, maybe a showcase. Maybe a showcase. What about Ranjan? I think he's just going to continue doing Ranjan. Okay. Guess at Coldplay. I don't know why I don't see Coldplay this time. I don't know why. But maybe. Okay, so I don't know if you guys saw, I shared the music video playlists on my YouTube posts. So I shared three playlists 20 minutes, 1 hour, and 3 hours. So all you have to do is just play them if you are very busy. These are the three playlists. And if you can, only if you can do cues that I know is not cue you, like I said last time. It's just cue. So these are the steps on how to do the cues. But if you don't have the time, you just oops. If you don't have the time, you just play the playlist. So this one is the 20 minutes one. This is the link. It's on my community post. And then this is the 1 hour. The 1 hour one has Mona Lisa 5 times, Sweet Dreams 2 times, Dope 2 times, and then the rest of them is just 1 time. Is what we voted for on Wednesday. Shazam, kill you. Oh my goodness. Um, what was I saying? I did 3 hours today. Okay, perfect. How much interaction do we need on YouTube? Just occasionally, whenever you can like, comment, or share the link. But if you cannot do it, just let it play. Um, okay, so this is the 1 hour one and then the 3 hours one. Here for Mona Lisa, for example, it says Mona Lisa for charts 14 times. So that means that Mona Lisa is here 14 times, but there are many videos here. So of course the music video is repeated more times, but I also included the Studio Tune video, the Jimmy Fallon performance, the stage cam, the dance practice, all of that, because all of them count for charts. So they are all good for charts. But for the rest of them, so that is Mona Lisa and Sweet Dreams. But for the rest of them, like Dope, it has to be one specific video. The same for Dynamite, Running Wild, Lost, Like Crazy, Hegum, Standing Next to You, and Slow Dancing. By the way, remember that we voted for this last Wednesday. We voted for Jimin's song to be Who and then Like Crazy. But then someone pointed out in the comments that by today, who would have already surpassed 100 million views? And it did. So I just included Like Crazy and Semi Free Part 2 because who is already who already surpassed 100 million. So the next goals are Like Crazy and Standing Next to You. That was me. Yes, because I gave a heart to the comment because I realized that, like, of course, who would have already surpassed 100 million, and of course today, um it's already surpassed. So this is the 3 hours one. So like I said, it's on my community post right here next to my videos and playlists, and here are the links. um I'm like Hagen won 100 million. That is the goal. The next goal for all of these music videos. So the next goal for Hagam is 100 million. What about Yoongi songs? Yoongi is right here. Like Hagam. Um I also included Detrita in the longer playlist, the 3 hours one. Are you feeling okay, Bora? Yes, for some reason every single time I start the live streams, my voice starts being gone. But I'm okay. I don't know why it just goes. And please, if you're listening to the playlists, try to comment which playlist you're streaming. Your voice is being shy. Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to talk about um something about this. Do you guys know about these new global groups? Have you heard of any global groups recently that somehow they are connected to K-pop but not really? It's like a big thing now. And I wanted to talk about that specifically. A little, yes, no. No, yes. Okay, kind of. I've heard bits. I'm a fan. Okay. So most of you only know the hype girl group. Um I auditioned for one of them. I guess the process of that is crazy. So, mm, okay. They are marketed to the Western market and usually have a bunch of foreign members. Yes. I notice that this is basically the next BTS attempt because the industry usually goes through different strategies. And one strategy becomes very popularized, like in the entire industry. And the one strategy right now is this one because you can think, oh, only these four groups exist like this. It's not just these four groups, two more are being created right now. So we already have basically six global groups. Like it's crazy. And I'm very offended with that BTS formula. Yes, thank you, because that is exactly what we're going to talk about now. I wanted to talk about how the industry sees BTS's formula and why it's completely wrong, why it doesn't make any sense. Lotus Bloom, you say that those groups are based in LA, not really K pop. That is true, but they are also not just Western groups, they are not even just global groups. K-pop labels are behind them so strongly that they go through the K-pop training system and all of that. So I think it's more than just they have nothing to do with K-pop. They actually have a lot to do with K-pop, and it's because of BTS. They should not call that BTS formula. It feels off, definitely. But that's what they're doing. Industry insiders say. Okay. Oh, it's interesting how it was frowned upon and ridiculed back in 2017, but now there is a lot more approval and acceptance toward global groups. Definitely. They perform at K pop awards. That is exactly my point. So let's start. I have a little presentation. So, first of all, a disclaimer. Today, we'll be talking about other groups that are not BTS. However, our commentary will be directed at the music label executives. So there will be no criticism directed at any performers or their talent. Mm, they should try individual artists. Trying groups nonstop is hilarious. It genuinely is because I just don't understand their obsession with creating the next BTS. Like it's crazy. It's always the next big group, the next big group, the next big group. When I'm sorry, the industry or the general public can barely support one group at a time. Or duets at least. Anything else, please. I just need anything else. Okay, so let's go back to every single attempt because actually, this new style of groups, this is attempt number seven of creating the next big group. Um, Attempt number seven. So this is the first one. They're throwing stuff and groups out there and seeing what sticks. Basically, this is attempt number seven. KD, yes, and we're going to talk about that as well. So let's remember attempt number one. So this was back in 2015, 2016, and 2017. So One Direction ended, and the music industry started producing a lot of small kind of copies of One Direction, trying to see who can make it like the biggest group. So the next big boy band was going to be a Western boy band. They were all trying to do that thing. you guys remember in the comments, I see. So they tried all of these groups. These had the old One Direction formula, which is Western members, Western music industry experts, Western producers, and a Western label. This was the old formula. Oh, thank you so much, Evie XOX. If they actually paid attention to the West, they would see that solo artists dominate the charts. 100%. I just don't understand their obsession with creating the next big group all the time. Um, Especially like because of BTS, I know so much about these groups, even though I don't listen to them. Like I know so much about their labels and their promotion strategies, and it's just exhausting. Because what I've noticed is that whenever there's a huge group at number one, the rest of them just are not being paid attention to. And for some reason, BTS is here, and the thing that people do in the industry, that the thing that the industry does is keep producing the same group again and again and again. Like they're trying to compete against with BTS when in the past they did the complete opposite. So when One Direction was the biggest group in the world, other other groups disbanded. Other groups disbanded because they were not going to compete against One Direction. It was just not going to happen. But I just find it interesting that BTS doesn't receive the same treatment. They just don't, and I just don't understand why. The general public doesn't have the attention span for multiple top groups, in my opinion. That is not just your opinion, that is a fact. The general public can only accept one group at a time, especially if it's like this boy band archetype. They can only accept one. The same thing with girl groups. They can only accept one. When Fifth Harmony was the big group, they tried, like Fifth, Little Mix was trying to be there as well, and they were very big in the UK, but they could never break into America because Fifth Harmony was there always. And when One Direction was number one, all the other groups disbanded. The industry didn't even try to compete against One Direction. But when BTS is number one, every other group, the entire industry is trying to um, destroy BTS, basically, like have their groups become the next big group. Anyways, so this is the first attempt, the old One Direction formula. So we all know what happened. It didn't work. BTS entered the American music industry. They succeeded completely. And what I find funny is that some of these groups, were at this event, guys. Like the American Music Awards, the Billboard Music Awards. I saw some um, full videos of the entire event. These boy bands are there with BTS, but we didn't even know because we didn't pay attention to them. But they were there being promoted. But everyone was paying attention to BTS at that time. And really, yes, yes, they were at the same event, some of these boy bands next to BTS, but everyone was paying attention to BTS. So it was pretty obvious that these Western boy bands were just not going to happen. So BTS was the center of attention. Everyone was paying attention to BTS, basically. So the thing that the industry tried to do was attempt number two, boy band reunions. So everyone was coming back. I have a video about this. Everyone remembers that, hopefully. So many boy bands who were big or a little big years ago, they started all coming back. Now, there is one exception though, which is this last boy band. I don't believe they had a reunion, they had a comeback because of BTS and because the industry wanted to have this. They wanted the boy band of the time to be Western boy band. They are not included because they came back for other reasons that had nothing to do with this. However, these other boy bands, I think probably because I just find it very, very interesting. all of these boy bands, every single one of these guys, they all disbanded when One Direction was the biggest band in the world. So they basically gave up when when One Direction was the biggest band in the world. But when BTS became the biggest band in the world, they all decided to come back. Maybe it's a coincidence in some cases. I do believe that it's a coincidence in some cases, but in other cases, it's not a coincidence at all. It's not. They see that BTS, maybe it's a foreign act, so the industry will try to push a Western act, definitely. So everyone remembers how a lot of the industry tried to push the Jonas Brothers reunion as like how this is how BTS this is how it's really done BTS basically. The Jonas Brothers are back with this album just in time to show the BTS is how it's really done. That's what they try to paint in the industry with the Jonas Brothers comeback. That is one. And then this other boy band, Big Time Rush, also had their boy band reunion. They say 500 likes, and we'll tease that new music. It's been years. They still have not reached 500,000 likes, but they still came back. Like they still had their comeback. Um, so as we can see here, especially because of this Chicago Tribune article, that the title changes. It's not just the next big boy band. Now it's the next BTS. Like everyone wants to be the next BTS. They tried it with new boy bands. It didn't work. They tried it with reunion of boy bands. It didn't work. So attempt number 3 is the next BTS was supposed to be a K-pop group because the industry started thinking, okay, so BTS is successful and all of our Western attempts don't work. So, what the world loves is K pop. So, what the industry needs to do is sign a bunch of K pop groups and hmm, sign a bunch of K pop groups and see which one can become bigger than BTS because supposedly K pop is what is, um, K pop is the next big thing. Um, it's not just BTS, it's K-pop. Just like when One Direction broke into America, like they started becoming, when One Direction became the biggest group in the world, they were not really like, there was not this idea of, let's see a lot of British boy groups, let's see a lot of British boy bands. It was just One Direction and it was their time and it was a celebration just for them. But BTS could never get that. It was always, no, it has to be something else though. Like, yes, BTS may be big, but it's because everyone is in love with K-pop. So they started promoting and signing all of these K-pop groups. That was attempt number 3 of the next BTS. And this was definitely the quote unquote BTS formula. It was a K pop label, it was a group with Korean members, and it was a K pop group promoted in America. There's always competition for the next big group, the main pop girl, the kings of K pop. It feels like there can't be more than one act from this category. From these categories on the scene, but 500 male soloists, yes, exactly. I also believe that. It's very weird because they always keep trying to replicate it. They always keep trying to have that one thing, have the next big group. They keep trying to produce the next big group when it's BTS. Because when it was One Direction, the industry said, you know what, have your time. I'm not even going to even try. But when it's BTS at number 1, they cannot stand it. There are 7 attempts, guys. 7 next BTS attempts. And I'm just so tired of it because it's the same thing again and again and again. Like the industry cannot just say, you know what, BTS maybe are the biggest group because they are a one in a lifetime kind of group. They just cannot accept it. When One Direction became the number 1 group, every other group disbanded, guys. Every other group disbanded. But when it's BTS, they just cannot stand it. BTS is a threat. That's why. Yeah, they cannot control it. So they keep trying to find some control. This BTS formula seems like the Krabby Patty formula that only Mr. Krabs, BTS, had access to, and Plankton, other companies, tried to steal many times or recreate it, but failed terribly. That is so funny. But it is true because I just find it funny that the industry follows the same attempts. Like it's always in masses. They all try to do the same thing at the same time because all of these global groups, why are there so many right now? I have a reason, I have an opinion, a theory, but I just find it funny that the industry keeps doing this. Okay, so we all know the next BTS K-pop group's attempts. This was around 2017, 18, and 19, and a little bit of 2020 as well. Um, Next, we have attempt number 4. The next BTS was a K-pop supergroup. So they signed all of these K-pop groups and it didn't work out. So they said, we need to find of the biggest soloists of the biggest groups in K-pop, put them all in one group and they can have a chance against BTS. So they had this K-pop supergroup. I also have a video about it. And this also follow the same quote unquote BTS formula. They were all Korean members. They had a Korean label, but an American label was involved this time. And they were promoted in America. Everyone remembers that group. The company failed so bad with that idea. Yes, they definitely did because at this point, I don't see one of these members ever coming back if they ever want to have a comeback. If they do, that would be a choice. That's number one. And number two, I just don't see a comeback ever again from this group. I don't think they're ever coming back. I think it's just over. Okay, this is attempt number 4. Let's see attempt number 5. Attempt number 5 was the UK pop group. This is the I just love these UK pop groups because this was the funniest attempt because at least for the with the rest of them, I could see a little bit of I don't know, like I understand they failed, but sometimes not that miserably. Like they failed a little and it worked to an extent. But this UK pop attempt, it was just so funny, guys. Whatever happened with the UK pop group, they don't exist anymore. Um, so basically, Simon Cowell, he created, quote unquote created, because he didn't actually, he just signed them. He quote unquote created One Direction. And when One Direction broke up, he decided, and BTS became the biggest group in the world. He was so salty about it, like he hated it. He created an special season of The X Factor called The X Factor The Band, exclusively made to create the next big boy group and the next big girl group. As you can see here, his promotion video says, we are going to find either the biggest boy group in the world or the biggest girl group in the world. We've done it before, we're going to do it again. He mentions how K-pop is a new big thing, but it's time for you K-pop or whatever. And I just find it very interesting that he says biggest boy group in the world or biggest girl group in the world because he's never said boy group or girl group. I know how Simon Cowell speaks and he never says boy group or girl group. He's always said boy band and girl band. He definitely wanted to come after BTS. He definitely was trying to create the next BTS. So he had this entire season, like full of many auditions, televised auditions and performances and boot camp and all of it. And the TV show was the boy group versus the girl group. The girl group won and they were signed, but Nothing happened. They didn't, the girl group never released an album. The boy group never released an album. They never released anything. Nobody followed them. Nothing happened. So, yeah, failed attempt again. Why everyone wants to copy someone else? I don't know. Simon Cowell is bored and old, and you still don't know what he just said um, about this UK pop thing. Because this is from 2022. He's trying again, guys. But that is we're still at attempt number 5. So let's see attempt number Oh, attempt number 5, once again, like I mentioned, these follow the all One Direction formula. So, Western members, TV competition show, coached by Western music industry experts, created by Western producers, and a Western label. And when I say Western producers, I really mean it because I remember that the coaches for this TV show were huge producers, guys. Huge producers, very, very famous producers were at this show working with Simon Cowell to create these groups. And nothing worked out. Nothing worked out. So Simon went back to his old One Direction formula, but we are at BTS's time. Like, that is just not going to work out at all. Let's go to attempt number 6. Attempt number 6 says that the next BTS is a K-pop group. Once again, they went back to attempt number 4, I believe. This is the industry, an industry insider said in 2022. The game has changed 180 degrees. Right now, the biggest concern in the K-pop industry is who will make the next BTS. So all attention is focused on the performance of the United States. I also included this in one of my videos. The industry, especially in 2022 and 2021, BTS were supposed to go to the military around those years, like in 2021 and 2022. They were supposed to go to the military those years. So the K-pop industry was really focusing on K-pop groups and how they can become the next BTS. And they started analyzing and studying BTS's formula or whatever. So what they came up with was that the new quote unquote BTS formula had to have the force of the K-pop industry and the Western industry. They had to have both. They cannot only be one. So they, of course, created the K Billboard Awards. I also mentioned this in my video, The Next BTS. And they said this is part of our mission to find the next BTS. So once again, the industry is really focused on a collaboration between the K-pop industry and the Western industry. So this new quote unquote BTS formula has Korean members, Korean management, but the Western music industry needs to be involved for them to be promoted in America. So it has to be both, this new formula. So what happened next, of course, is that BTS started their military service by the end of 2022. And this will give the industry around 3 years to create the next BTS. So what did they do while BTS was in the military? They had attempt number 6. They studied a lot and they said, okay, we need the collaboration of K-pop labels and Western labels. So that's exactly what they did. They formed new groups and they started signing with they started collaborating Western labels and K-pop labels to create new groups or to promote groups that already existed, but mostly to create new groups, honestly. And these failed a couple of times because we all know the case of 50/50. That is the most popular case. The Korean label sued or took legal action against Warner Music, which was the Western label, because according to them, Warner tried to convince the girls that they should leave their Korean management and go sign with them exclusively. So that's what happened. One of the many things that happened, because this was even more complicated than just this. But we're focusing on the industry side. So, and of course, JYP, for example, did a full scale expansion into the US. And this was with Republic, I believe, a US label. So, um, attempt number six, while BTS is at the military, is once again a K-pop group, but with Western label. So it's Korean members, Korean label, American label involved, and promotion in America. However, that didn't work. Like I mentioned, too many problems with Warner and stuff like that. So we finally get to attempt number seven. This is the current attempt. What the music industry is trying to do with groups to create the next big group, aka the next BTS. What they're trying to do is have some kind of collaboration, but the creative mindset of the K-pop industry and the promotion force of the Western industry. So this is the BTS global formula, to put it some way. Um, this is just a special mention because I don't consider this group a global group. This group specifically, this is one group, by the way. This group specifically, I believe it's a K-pop group because they have global members. It has a Korean management, a Korean label. It is promoted globally, but mostly in Korea. And the music is just in Korean. So I don't think this is the regular formula that we're going to talk about. This is just an exception. Now, this is the actual first attempt. What the industry is trying to do now is create. mm, yes, I agree with all of you. This group is definitely, yes, they do have different groups, different members from around the world, but they still sing in Korean, perform in Korean, speak in Korean. They are K-pop. However, this is an actual global group. So this was created from a competition TV show in America. The competition show is called America to Korea. So very specific, America to Korea, because JYP was trying to find American singers to put in a group and then promote in Korea and also globally. I just didn't understand the logic of that. Um, this is the one suing JYP. Yes. So this group has global members, a Korean management, a Korean and American label. That is important because this is the new strategy. Both. It was promoted in Korea and America. They have music in English, and they were created through a TV competition. Now, this group right now is having a problem with JYP because one of the members said that they were being mistreated, and she's suing the label, basically. And I don't know what is the future for this group, but hmm, okay. I don't know why some of you guys are talking about other group that has nothing to do with anything. Moment of silence. Yes, because sometimes I'm talking about something, I read the comments, and you're having a completely different conversation. And I'm like, wait, what are they talking about? And then I read, and it's like about a K pop group. And it's like, I understand that certain labels are obsessed with BTS and they are K pop groups or whatever, but it's not real, guys. Like, it's just more media play. Oh, Yes, we talk about Echo at the beginning of the live stream. Mm, okay, whatever. um. Anyways, so this group, one of the members of this group is suing the label, which is a new label, I believe, is JYP America or something like that. Um. So yeah, it's not happening. That's my point. It's not happening. Next attempt. This is a British group managed by Korean management. So this is SM. They join Kakao, guys. I don't feel like so many K-pop fans or even armies. I believe that we should pay more attention to everything shady that Kakao is doing, because Kakao really has a lot of power. Um, and they do, like, they have so many legal troubles. They keep going to jail because they find weird things to do, like weird ways to promote certain groups. Cacao is really shady. Yes. Um and I just find it interesting that this group specifically has the name SM. It has the name um Moon and Back, which is the British label. But they don't mention Cacao, but Cacao is involved. I just find that very interesting. Why is Cacao involved? What are they going to do? Like you guys are saying, Cacao is shady. They, like, the CEO went to jail because of um manipulating the numbers. So I just find this a little suspicious. But anyways, SM, Cacao, and a British label created this British group, Western members, Korean management, Korean Western label is both. And this group is being promoted in Korea and America. They sing in English, and they had a documentary about how they went through the K-pop training system. So once again, people keep saying this is a global group, this is a British group, or whatever. They still went through the K-pop training system. And I just don't understand the obsession of making these global groups go through the K-pop training system. I believe that it's because with their studies and everything, they think that BTS success is the K-pop training system. But I don't think it's that. I really don't think it's that. But this is the new focus of the industry. Like they keep trying. They are basically saying K-pop is just not going to happen. So we need global groups. Okay, we need global groups. But what about BTS? Why is BTS still surpassing global groups? Because BTS at least has the K-pop training system. So I believe that's why the industry thinks that these global groups have to go through BTS's K-pop training system. When I don't think it's the best path for these groups. For many of these groups, it's just not necessary. Like, it's just not their path. If this was the case, why don't other K-pop groups have the same success? Exactly. I just believe that the industry fails to recognize that BTS is successful because of them as artists. They refuse to admit it because that would mean that they cannot replicate it. They would have to find it. And when can you find other where can you find other artists like BTS? And it would be like too complicated for them. They have something. They need to have something to replicate. And the only thing that they can replicate from BTS is the K-pop training system. They have nothing else that they can replicate. Um, because if they replicate the authenticity or the natural talent or their ability to show messages, that would be too much independent for the members of the group. And they need to control them. They need to be the ones, like the industry needs to be the one to replicate. The industry needs to be the masterminds. The industry needs to be the ones who control the group. So that is why this BTS global formula, I just don't get it. Because they can, listen, what could have been really different is just creating a global group that has nothing to do with the K-pop training system. But they need to have the K-pop training system because that means that at least they're doing something like BTS. At least they're doing something like BTS. So maybe it can work somehow because BTS did this. So these groups should do it. And it's just not going to happen. It can work to an extent, but I mean, I don't know. It's not happening. Next, we have the most famous attempt because I can see that you guys already recognize this group. So this is a group by Hive, from Hive. Um, so it's management from Korea and America. This is a group based in LA, but it is Hive America, basically. They have global members, so members from around the world. They are promoted globally, not just in Korea, not just in America. They are promoted in a couple of countries around the world, including Japan and the Philippines, I believe. Um, they also have music exclusively in English, and they were also created through a TV competition show, and they also had a documentary. So this definitely worked to an extent, I think mostly because of um, promotions. They did well because they promoted them. They had their own Netflix show. That is the first big step. They also were promoted in on Billboard and all of these American news shows and whatever. So that is definitely, I believe, the most successful of all the attempts. However, I believe they, yes, do they have longevity? I still don't know because they are so new. And that is the other problem is that, like I mentioned, BTS left a space for groups for 3 years and that time is gone. So this group can become like as big as they can. Like they can even have like a, I don't know, like a Billboard Hot 100 number 5 or something. And they still wouldn't be able to be BTS, which I think is not necessarily that they want to, but the industry and the mainstream public just cannot, they just cannot stand more than one group. They usually cannot. So that is the third attempt. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but Hive is creating two more global groups again. So aside from the three that we already have, we're going to have two more. Um, Once again, global members, Korean American label, promoted globally, music in English, and also a TV show because that worked with Cat's Eye. So I believe they're trying to replicate that as well. Now, the first attempt that they announced was this: Hype teams with Ryan Tether to form and train new global boy group. Now, this is basically this like this is basically Cat's Eye version, but male version. Um, and this is created with Ryan Tether. Now, I have mixed feelings about Ryan Tether because Ryan Tether has created some very big songs, huge songs. Um, but he has also created so many songs that have failed completely. And especially when it comes to latest releases of him, hits and misses, exactly. So I don't know. I cannot trust Ryan Tether's um, decisions in the creation of a group. But I feel like he can be a good producer of music. I don't think he knows much about current trends, but I don't know. Like someone said, it's a hit or miss. Like he sometimes can make a big hit, sometimes he cannot. Although he tries very hard at times. So I don't really know. I feel like Hype is giving so much trust to this man, and I just don't see. I feel like he was a good hit maker of the 2010s, but now we are in 2025, and I don't know if he's updated with all the trends and stuff like that. So I don't know. Maybe, but I don't know. So that is one group. It's basically a boy group version of Cat's Eye. Now, I wanted to talk about this other group because I just find it crazy. So Hype is going to do a mixed group. So as you can see here, 3 girls, 3 boys. And it's going to be once again global members, so anyone from around the world. Um Promoted globally, Korean American label, and they are going to have a TV show. It says for our new global streaming series, a next generation pop group. Co-ed group. Yes. It's going to be a mix, like a co-ed group. Um 3 girls and 3 boys. Now, when this trailer came out, I saw a lot of people extremely confused because how is this going to work and why they keep saying global streaming series? What does that mean? Why, like, are they going to have like a show? Are they going to act? Because this part, Alan something like AU, that is a creator of stories, apparently, or something like that. Yes, so you guys are saying that K-pop in K-pop there's already a mixed group. Yes, but this is very specific. When you see the trailer, um it's not just about the fact that this is going to be a co-ed group. This is about the fact that they're going to have a TV show. They are going to have a streaming series. Like how Big Time Rush was made, yes, but with co-ed, um, with members of like with female members and with male members. It's giving lemonade mouth, kind of, yeah. So thank you. A lot of people are mentioning this because when this trailer came out, so many people were so confused because people were like, "I'm so confused. I don't understand. How are they going to have a co-ed group, but also with a TV show? It makes no sense." But for some people in Latin America, for us, it makes sense because I believe Hype is trying to replicate this group right here. So in Argentina, there was this TV show called Rebelde Way, and they had a spin off in Mexico called just Rebelde. And they were 3 girls, 3 boys, co ed group, extremely, extremely popular, and they had a TV show. Like that was their main thing. And I believe they're trying to replicate because even the way they are there, like I believe in the video, in the promotion trailer, they said something like, if you want to be an idol but you feel like you don't belong, you can audition. And that is the basis for Rebelde. Like they are the rebels of the school. Like they are the ones that are different and not like your regular idols or whatever. I believe Hive is trying to replicate Rebelde. I understand they're trying new things, but how will the producers handlers take care of the drama issues with having a co-ed group? I have no idea. Zero idea. So they're basically plagiarizing. I don't know if plagiarizing, but I I immediately thought of this group because it's the same thing. It has a fictional storyline. It's 3 girls, 3 boys, and they are the outcasts. That is their entire thing. And that's what the auditions say. If you want to be an idol but you feel like you don't belong, audition. That is basically rebelde. So I see some people mentioning Card. Card is a co-ed K-pop group, and kind of yes. However, Card does not have a fictional storyline, and they are just idols. Here, they're trying to cast, I believe, like outcasts or people who are a little bit different from the typical idol image, and who also have, um, who can also act in a streaming series or something. I'm not really sure what they're trying to do. So yeah. Now let's go to the next attempt. Simon Cowell again, guys. He's back. He wants to create again another group. So it says the judge will be holding auditions to put together the next big boy band, and the process will be filmed for a potential documentary series produced with box to box films, according to Rolling Stones. Cowell will be holding open call auditions across the United Kingdom to find potential band members to undergo a boy band boot camp. So, what is he trying to do? Boy band boot camp, aka K-pop training system. He's trying to do something similar to K-pop without saying it's K-pop. He says every generation deserves a mega star boy band, and I don't think there has been one to have the success of One Direction in over 14 years. Because once again, he keeps denying that BTS was is the big band after One Direction. He's always hated that. He always was so salty about it. When BTS went to his stupid TV show, what's it called? Britain's Got Talent, and the other one, I don't remember. America's Got Talent, Britain's Got Talent, like one of those. And he is so angry at BTS. That BTS is number one, the biggest group in the world, and he has nothing to do with it. He has nothing to do with it. X Factor, I don't think. Did BTS perform at the X Factor? I don't think so. I think BTS performed at Britain's Got Talent and America's Got Talent. Um, he was there in one of those. And J-Hope said, see you in Wembley or something. And that was just so iconic because Simon Cowell hates to hear that. So let's remember that this is Simon Cowell's third attempt of surpassing BTS, because his first attempt, here, let me show you. His first attempt was in 2016 and 17. Where is it? This group. This was Simon Cowell's first attempt to compete against BTS. And this group doesn't exist anymore. But he really tried. And I believe, I hate Simon Cowell, but he did a good job. Like from all of these groups, these two are the most successful ones. But of course, not as successful as BTS. Like it's just not possible. So that was his first attempt. His second attempt is, of course, this, the next UK pop group or whatever. And his third attempt is now the one that we're talking about right now. Simon Cowell says the industry tends to focus on solo artists, so it usually takes someone from outside to put a group together. He's saying this as if he's discovering something, like he's saying something so important. And he's like, no, like the entire industry is trying to do the exact same thing that you're doing, which is a Western slash global group with some kind of training system. Simon Cowell wants to have a boy band boot camp and have a documentary about it. So basically the same thing that every single other label is doing. Once again, every single other label is doing the same thing. Global members, K-pop training system. Global members, K-pop training system, but he calls it boy band bootcamp or whatever. So I'm tired of this man already. Yeah. I didn't know he was in this much denial. He really is. And when this project fails, if it's even going to happen, because this was um, last year and we're already on April. Like, is it going to come out or he's still planning? Like, I don't know. But he keeps trying. Like, he's obsessed with this idea. Okay, so of course, some obvious mistakes of these new quote unquote global groups that have such a strong presence of K pop. Number one, I believe, is that they are showcasing the experiment too much. They are proud to say that they are this experiment of the K-pop system and Western labels and everything. They love calling it experiment and they are proud to show it. And I believe that is a little bit of a problem because experiment gives a little of manufactured. And that is something that the general public, the Western general public, just cannot stand. They don't like that and it's less likely for these types of groups to succeed and to really become mainstream. Not denial, but jealousy that he has no money, interest, or in BTS, nor he can duplicate them, just you said. Yeah, definitely. Because Simon Cowell is a very um jealous person. I believe it was not just with BTS. I believe he also had something to do with the Spice Girls. I believe, was it the Spice Girls or other group? But there was another group that he rejected. Like he said, I'm not going to sign you. And then they became super popular. I'm not sure it was if it was the Spice Girls or another group, but he hated that they became popular without him. So he always hated them. Little Mix, he also hated Little Mix, but it was an older group. It was an older group. Um, but yeah, Little Mix also works. He also hates Little Mix because Little Mix found their own fame and success without him. Okay, so back to the global groups. I just don't think that showcasing the experiment is the best way to promote these global groups. I just don't think it's going to happen if they continue this way. Entirely, Teresa, thank you so much. These companies keep saying they want to make the next BTS, but that's not really what they mean. They don't want another BTS, they want another army. We are the revenue. None of them have cracked the code. I totally agree with you because definitely. I believe that the reason why they keep replicating, the reason why they keep making groups specifically is because um, we are fans of a group and no other artist right now has a fandom like BTS. Of course, other artists, solo artists have fans like BTS, but maybe in terms of quantity, but not in terms of how BTS Army is dedicated to BTS. Um, People need to understand any group can be BTS, but not everyone can have a BTS Army. And I believe BTS Army keeps choosing BTS because there's just no way. Like the general public chose BTS, and that's what that's what I need people to understand. That's what I need the industry to understand because it's not just the crazy fangirls who chose BTS. BTS is very popular in for mainstream audiences as well. Um, they are definitely more casual fans, but BTS was able to transform the general public into their fans. Is any of you Was any of you a K-pop fan before becoming an army, or were you? I'm going to do a poll. Were you? Let's see, K-pop fan. So the question is before becoming an army. Before becoming an army, were you a K-pop fan or general public? Let's see. Before becoming an army, were you a K-pop fan or general public? Okay, so 87% says general public. And honestly, me too. Like I knew about K-pop, but I was just never interested in it. Um I was general public and never was into boy bands either. And that is the problem with trying to keep creating all of these boy bands and girl groups, and it's just not going to happen. Like BTS fans were not boy band fans. BTS fans were not K-pop fans. And that's what the industry just cannot understand. So another mistake that I think is keeps happening is that the people creating these groups are just the wrong producers. I just don't understand why there are no young people creating these groups, because it's always these old people who just don't understand fandom culture. I need If they really want to make this work, I feel like they need fans, someone who understands the fandom mindset, um, to be there. But all of these are old people, with the exception of the group that is doing the best. So in general, like kind of well, which is this producer looks kind of young compared to the other ones. So maybe she gets a little bit of fandom culture, a little bit more. So I believe they just have the wrong producers. Young people don't have the money or power. I know that, but if I was a multimillionaire and I wanted to have like a group, create a group, I would listen to the young people, because they keep saying, these old people keep saying to each other, we should do this. And everyone, the rest of the old people are like, yeah, you're right. And it's like, where are the young fans in the conversation? Bora, let them do. They will fail again. So who cares? I mean, that is true. But here's the other thing. Um, Hype is producing three global groups. Um, and BTS, like the success of Hype is also the success of, not the success of BTS, but it goes to BTS's pockets as well. And I don't know what these other sub labels are doing. I just don't get it. It's fun to see them try. I mean, yeah. And finally, I believe that another big mistake that they have is that they just target the wrong audiences, and they have the wrong promotions. Because if they really wanted to have a global group, they should not promote this much in Korea. I think they promote 50% of the time in Korea and 50% of the time in America, if not more in Korea. They mostly perform in Korea. And it's like, then people who are going to follow them are going to be K-pop stans, not the general public. So in the end, this group, like you guys mentioned, may be very popular. Like compared to the other ones, this group is the most popular one. However, at the end of the day, their fans are mostly K-pop fans, not the general public. The demand, if the demand isn't there, well, yeah, and they're going to keep trying. Like I said, there are already two more global groups that they're producing. So let's see what they do. In the meantime, here's the actual next BTS. BTS. Time is over. Like that's what I need some of the industry insiders to understand. You had your opportunity. You had 3 years. You had 3 years, and it's just not going to happen. Like BTS is already coming back, and like I mentioned, the music industry likes to have one big group and the others. So this was their moment. Like these past 3 years, BTS could only perform as soloists, and they did it. So they were not a group. So this was the moment for other groups to be the number one group, and they couldn't. Time is over, and BTS is back, basically. All that time and nothing came from it. I just don't understand why are they training these artists to perfection, training these teenagers to perfection. The general public doesn't care about synchronicity in choreographies. Just have good music. Like I just don't understand. Some of your comments are so funny. Oops. Mm, dancing is so fun to watch, but it doesn't make a hit song or fans. Definitely. So that is why I think these newest global groups attempts of being the next big group, it's just not going to happen. Like they can find moderate success, but I just don't understand. I just I wish the industry could understand that K-pop, not K-pop, groups in general are just not that popular. Like I hate Simon Cowell, but he was right when he said that. Um Groups are not really followed. And if they are, there's usually one big group that people pay attention to, and the rest of them is just like, okay, like I guess they can be there. But yeah, I feel like BTS is now coming back, and it's just not going to happen for other groups. There's no formula for making the next BTS, and they need to know that. Next BTS is just BTS themselves. No one can ever do what they have done. Do you guys think that once BTS comes back and they come back in such a big, um, their comeback is going to be so big? Do you guys think that the industry will keep trying, or do you think that they will slow down? Honestly, it doesn't really, I don't really care about that. It doesn't really affect BTS if they keep trying or if they slow down. But um, it's just too much saturation of the same thing if they keep trying. No, I think they will stop after BTS comes back. Mm, they will push their group more. I also find it interesting, and I've said it many times, but I don't understand. I have a theory, but I don't really understand the reasoning behind whenever BTS is a number one and they're so strong, when they have like a big comeback, the industry tries to replace them, compete against them. But when One Direction was at number one, um, everyone gave up. Is it like I'm just going to ask, do you guys think it's because BTS are an Asian independent group? Because I really have no other explanation. Kashi, thank you so much. BTS looking good as always and will keep thriving once they return. 100%. I know that. And especially because we're all been waiting for it. And the industry had their time to um, keep trying with the more casual armies maybe. But it didn't work and time's up. BTS basically back. There's no more time for other groups to keep trying. Okay, so you guys agree because I just don't understand. When it was One Direction, everyone left. All of the groups. And actually I believe the Wanted admitted that they broke up because One Direction existed, so it was basically over for them. And Big Time Rush said something similar. Big Time Rush said something like, um, One Direction opened for them, but everyone went there to see One Direction, the openers of Big Time Rush, not to actually see Big Time Rush. Um, so they all just gave up and they left the industry. But when BTS is at number one and BTS, everyone's paying attention to BTS. Like I mentioned, when BTS went to the American Music Awards and the Billboard Music Awards, other groups were there as well. Like other groups trying to become the next big boy band were also there. And when they saw BTS being number one, they refused. They said, I mean, yeah, they are the biggest group, but they are the biggest K-pop group, so they don't count. And so many of them, you guys remember, so many of them were just xenophobic. This group was very, very xenophobic. Um, and I mean, they are no one, so who cares at this point? Because they kept saying that um, BTS doesn't count in the conversation of boy bands. CNCO was also xenophobic, yes. Which I find it very interesting because CNCO is a group full of Latinos who sing in Spanish and they want to come here and be xenophobic against BTS and making fun of them singing in Korean. You sing in Spanish. Like, forever in the trash. Yeah, they officially broke up. And honestly, nobody moved. Like, nobody cares. Funny name, Forever in Your Mind. When I was making this, I was also thinking of that. All of these names are so, so bad because I believe because um, of One Direction. Because One Direction, you can like them or not, but we can all agree, even if you're a fan, we can all agree that One Direction was not the best name for a boy band. Um, and these other names give me the same vibe. One Direction, Why Don't We, New Hope Club, In Real Life, Forever in Your Mind. Horrible names, like they make no sense. They sound like book titles. Exactly, like they don't really make sense for a boy band. Um, New Hope Club sounds like Christian pop, and they do sound like Christian pop. I'm not the one saying this. You guys said it because do you remember when I had a live stream recently Where is it? This one. Ranking artists only by their BTS covers. I showed a cover of Dynamite sung by New Hope Club, and you all hated it. Okay, some of you liked it, but a lot of you didn't like it because it was like, yeah, like no. A lot of you guys said no. That's all you said. The thing with CNCO is though Latin music was already very popular while BTS were the very first famous Korean artist, and the last famous one before them was basically a meme. Oh, sigh. Yeah, so the thing with CNCO is that CNCO was created in just like One Direction in a TV singing competition. They put them all together and they sang in Spanish, but they were based in Miami. So they all speak fluent English. So first they were promoted in Latin America and it worked. Like they were huge in Latin America. I'm talking billions of views. However, um, they did try to enter the American music industry because they speak English. They tried singing with having collaborations with English speaking artists and they try promoting in America and all of that and it didn't work. BTS was already here. Like we all know what happened at that time. BTS paved the way. Thank you so much. I feel like the world is holding their breath because they don't know what to expect when BTS comes in. Back. BTS for world domination. You are so correct because I also believe that the world is holding their breath because just looking at the entertainment news, looking at Good Morning Americans, the news from Good Morning America and the Today Show, um, we have all of these global groups being promoted right now in America, not just in America, but um, around the world. We have all of these K-pop groups, I'm sorry, global groups being promoted, etc., etc., etc. However, the ones who actually get their own news without even saying anything, anything small happens when it comes to BTS, they are the ones being reported on. Like BTS goes to the military, it's everywhere. BTS, one of the BTS members comes back from the military, it's everywhere. There are rumors of the BTS reunion, it's everywhere. Like there are full on news reports of BTS's comeback in America. And BTS is, of course, not paying for any of that. They are not promoting anything. BTS are just so big that the news outlets are so interested in BTS's reunion already. They're just waiting for it at this point. However, meanwhile, all of these other groups are being promoted and going to radio stations and TV shows, and they want people to pay attention to them. But the industry, like the news outlets and the mainstream audiences, are still waiting for BTS. Even the mainstream audiences. What happened now? Oh my goodness. Now what happened? Augusty, I don't see the comment. Oh, I saw. You guys are too funny sometimes. BTS was mentioned a few times in the Rookie TV show. Yes, I stopped watching the Rookie, but I watched some episodes and I also saw the clips of BTS being mentioned. Big Hit announced Echo release its 4 the 16th of May. So basically, in one exact month and 2 days. Marcos. Oh my goodness, Marcos. I don't see the other comment that everyone is saying. Anyways, thank you, Marcos. Oh, I saw. It's August D. I saw the comments. You guys are just too funny. So, Echo is out in May 16th. So, that basically means that definitely J Hope's song is going to be released before that, right? Like the third single. My goodness. So basically, there's no week when we can rest. In maybe 1 or 2 weeks, Jacob's song will be released. Maybe 2 weeks. And then 2 weeks after that, Jim releases his album. And 2 weeks after that, it's already June. Oh my goodness, guys. We don't have time for anything. We don't have time for anything. In 2 weeks, J-Hope's new song. 2 weeks after that, Jim's new album. 2 weeks after that, Festa. And 2 weeks after that, the reunion. Kashi, thank you. Justice for BTS when they return, and for media outlets to leave them alone. Every heart for their comeback. I don't think media outlets are going to leave them alone. Like, everyone is just going to be talking about it, because I remember when Jin was discharged from the military, it was everywhere. Did you guys felt the same way? It was everywhere. I turned on the TV and it was there. Open Twitter, it was there. Um, Podcasts that have nothing to do with BTS. They said, "Hey, by the way, did you see BTS? One of them was playing the saxophone when one of them left was discharged." And I was like, "How do you know that? You're not a BTS fan, but everyone knows. Everyone knows." So of course, when BTS reunites, um, they are already talking about it. Like a couple of weeks ago, there was a news station in America who did like a small report on how music industry insiders are talking about BTS coming back. And they are already talking about it. Like the Western media is already talking about it. Of course, Korean media has been talking about it nonstop. So when BTS actually reunites, it's just going to be nonstop. And also, when BTS reunites, like a couple of weeks after that, J Hope has his Lollapalooza performance. So it's just nonstop. The impact of all the rest of the members discharging in a short span of time is going to be iconic. Yes, because if it was a big deal when when the first member was discharged, it was everywhere. When all of them are discharged, it's just going to be huge. Entirely Teresa, thank you. Plot twist. Hobie's third song is a Jin collab. So many people are saying that, and I just don't want to get excited. Because I'm already so excited. Like at the beginning of the stream, I was talking about how excited I was because this is a rock album. Confirmed. And I can't, because I was waiting for Jin to do rock music for such a long time. And when he released Happy, I was more than satisfied with the product. Like I was like, this is rock music that I like and I love this. And now this album, it seems like it's going to have a rockier sound. So I'm just so excited. August D and Marcos keep going about it. My goodness. Rock Jean Supremacy. Yes. But we're still supporting Mona Lisa while we wait for Echo. So remember that I have on my posts, I have this 3 playlists: 20 minutes, 1 hour, and 3 hours. All you have to do is click the link and play it. Like, you don't have to do anything else. You don't have to overthink it. If you do have time and you can, and if you can create your queue here at picture number 3. These are the instructions to create your own queue, not queue you, like I said last time. So these are the songs that we're focusing on. And here are the playlists. You can also find it on the playlist tab here. It says 20 minutes, 1 hour, 3 hours. And Mona Lisa is there a lot of times for the 3 of them. Those photos are so cute. I know, right? That's why I chose them, because I found them. I knew about this picture from a long time ago. It's also part of um a thumbnail for a video, but I love it so much. So I said, I'm going to use that photo shoot. So 3 hours, 1 hour, 20 minutes. Do you want us to comment? Yes, please. So I can see how many people are participating. So you can go to the post here and here, comment. You can leave your comment here, please, so I can see how many people are participating. But the good thing about YouTube is that I can see exactly how many streams the playlists have. So I think I have to wait for at least 24 hours. So right now it says no views, but that is just because it's the first 24 hours. Um, People are streaming the playlist for what I've seen. It's just that I have to wait for it to update. 77 comments? Yes, 77 comments. And I was thinking that I'm going to keep this playlist um there. So when J-Hope releases his new song, I'm just going to modify this playlist so you can keep streaming this same playlist. So I'm going to keep updating them and updating them and updating them. So you don't have to do anything. You just have to save these playlists. So for example, here, you go to this button right here. It says save playlist. So you don't have to do anything. You just have to play them. Bora, do you know we're recharting home from Map of the Soul for reunion? Yes, I saw it. And I totally support the idea. I believe that is in during the reunion, right? So in June. I didn't know about home. That's great. Yes. These photos are from a photo shoot. Yes. This is from BTS fan club Japan photo shoot magazine thing from 2021, I believe. It was for a Japan photo shoot for the fan club. A gym promo video has been released on a billboard somewhere. Wait, what? Let me check. Let me check. Gin. Wait, what's it called? Echo. Gin Echo. I don't see it. I don't see the video. There's nothing on the look. So here is Jin's projects, Jin's discography. Here's Echo. And there's just this one picture, nothing else. Hmm, videos, maybe? No, there's nothing. I don't see it. Yeah, boy, Julito. Thank you so much. I want BTS to win Billboard Top Social again. They deserve it, especially because their company is now the fourth in the US. I would love for Billboard to bring back the Top Social Artist Award. Um, I don't believe they brought it back, but I wish they did because I just find it very suspicious that BTS was about to break Justin Bieber's record, and they said, "No, actually, we're going to make um, the award disappear, the award category disappear." So I don't know if they're bringing it back. That's why they stopped it. Definitely, I believe that is the reason. Whatever happened to the KBBMAs and the K Grammys? No idea. No idea. But the K Billboard Awards, they did happen in 2022, I believe, or 2023. I don't remember. But I haven't heard of them since then. EVXOX, thank you so much. It was one of the announcements from Big Hit that the release dates would be announced on a billboard. Oh, okay. Yes, so that was the I cannot pronounce that word. A scavenger hunt or whatever. Um it's a unique way of announcing things. Because they have not done that. They will bring back the K Grammys once BTS start winning every award. Yes, and you know what? That's why I believe we just need to. I know it's going to happen because we keep saying all of these things that BTS are going to be big when they come back because obviously they are BTS, and that is true. Um, but we really need to focus on BTS because um, I remember that back then we said we need to make them untouchable. And by making them untouchable, it's basically impossible to deny their success. They have to be they have to be nominated because it's too obvious if they don't get nominated at main awards. So for example, let's remember the Artist of the Year award at the American Music Awards 2021. Um I know the American Music Awards were so angry to have to give the award to BTS, but what else could have they done? Like they had to nominate BTS and they had to let them win because they were there and it was so obvious that they would win the votings. Augusty and Marcus keep going. I don't think they will win at the Grammys because the establishment is racist. They will nominate them again and again for vocals. Okay, so I don't like. Mm, I don't like giving myself hope about the Grammys. However, I believe that sooner or later it is going to happen. Maybe not when they come back, but it is going to happen. And that's the other thing that I understand that the Grammys are very, very racist and xenophobic and all of that. Like that is true. But a couple of things have changed in the past few years. So for example, they had a lot of trouble with the weekend, but the weekend, I believe, they reconciled, recon, recon, reconciled. Um, so it's this small stuff like that. I also believe that for the past year, the Grammys, they changed the rules of voting or something like that. And it was a little bit funny because when they had their latest Grammys, they had to say, according to this amount of votings, the winner is. And they're making sure to say that because they are trying to express that they are changing as an as the academy. They are changing everything. So I'm not saying that BTS has a chance now. All I'm saying is that if BTS comes back with with a different, I don't know, I feel like there is a chance that not necessarily the Grammys, but just the industry in general and the general public in general sees BTS as more than just a K-pop boy band. When they come back, I feel like they're going to change their image. I'm not the one saying this. BTS has said this. Bang PD has said this. Bang PD has said that BTS cannot stay the BTS that we know them as. BTS has to change their image. They have to grow. And that's what they want to do with this comeback. So it is basically confirmed that BTS's image is going to change when they come back. And maybe that is a new way that new image maybe will be accepted by the Grammys or the general public or the industry. I don't know. I don't know what is going to happen. But BTS are going to be perceived differently because they're going to change their image. New concept, yes. And more than just a concept like for an album or something, I believe that as a group, they're going to change their image. I'm thinking of, for example, the Beatles. So when the Beatles started, when they had their first album, they were heartthrobs. If you see their first album, they were in their album cover was very cute and they had like female fans and they had this one image of their heartthrobs. However, when they came back, when they had their comeback or whatever, they changed their image at some point and everyone started taking them more seriously and also everyone saw them in a different light. I believe that BTS, they're going to have that. Don't feed the bears. You are correct. However, in the case of BTS, I believe the military thing is going to bring a new image to them, at least for the general public, from the general public's perception. Entirely, Teresa, thank you so much. BTS need better FYC packets if they want to win. I'm not exactly sure of what is FYC, but definitely um all the tips and stuff like that BTS has been receiving when it comes to the Grammys, I think they're just not being instructed the best way possible. But I think that they're going to get it someday, somehow. They just remember me. Marcos, what are you saying now? For my competitors, let's shut up and pay attention. Yeah, at this point, we're just talking about anything. But thank you, Marcos. And I don't know what competitors you're talking about. I'm ignoring all of those comments. No, I'm just kidding. You guys are too funny sometimes. I don't think it will be change of image for Grammys or for acceptance. BTS are already serious artists, but it would just be their evolved self, which is what we expect from them. Yes, so that is, you're expressing what I'm trying to say in a better way. I believe that what is basically confirmed is that BTS are going to have an evolved image. Um, Now, if the Grammys, they're not going to do it for the Grammys, they're doing it for themselves, as they've said it many times. Man Shi-hyuk has said it many times. Now, if that new evolved image is accepted by the Grammys or not, that is what we're going to see. But the Grammys are simply not going to have the same perception of BTS because BTS are not going to be the same. Especially, like, I hate stereotypes and I hate that we have to talk about this, but BTS going to the military already brings a new image to BTS, even if they don't want to. Yes, mature people are saying, and yeah, like the general public already gives them this image because of the military. Like, oh, they went to the military. They are not just a boy band for teenage girls. That's already the image. So I believe the change of image is the wrong way to look at it. They're just going to be themselves more. Mm, I agree, change of image is maybe not the right word, but I don't think it's just about being themselves because I do believe that they were themselves before. It's just that they've always shown their true selves. Like when they were at school, their albums were like it was this cool trilogy. When they started entering adulthood, their albums were about entering adulthood. When they now that they are um being discharged from the military, they are going to show that as well. More mature now, evolution. Yeah, something like that. Newest stage of growth, definitely. Because I understand that maybe, let's say, their school trilogy was a little for young people. And it's like, obviously, because they are young people and they are making their own music. So their image was always themselves, I feel like. Um, and now they are entering their 30s. And I believe they're going to show that. BTS grew up with armies, definitely. Unicorn boss. I feel like you can see it in Hobie and Jin already. They're more mature now, but also even more charismatic and confident. I totally see it because I mentioned it a little, kind of, on my live stream, this one. More than just the funny ones. And I included Jin and Jacob there because they have this image, or they used to have this image of they are the funny ones in the group. They are the comedic relief. And sure, they are great performers, but they are the funny ones. And now, yes, they are fun and they are also funny, but they're more than just that. Um, they are complete performers. They are full entertainers. So silly duo. Yeah. So for example, now Jin, sure, he's the funny one. By doing all of these um variety shows and run Jin and having like his own two rock albums, that tells me a lot more than before. And also with J-Hope, I feel like I do like that he's a good dancer. I love watching him dance, but he's a good producer as well. And with Jack in the Box, I feel like he changed that perception of him. He's also a very good producer, and he's not just a good dancer in the group. Um, he's a good dancer in general, and he's a very good producer as well. showing different sides to them. Exactly. Right. And we're just ignoring Jungkook releasing Seven. Like that was a big shift from the regular music that they've been releasing as BTS. And that shock is going to be now, I believe, from the seven of them. Maybe not necessarily on a song like Seven, but there's going to be a shock, guys. That's what I'm trying to say. And that's why I'm trying to say the Grammys love that kind of stuff. The Grammys love the Grammys love a comeback. When I mentioned, for example, the Jonas Brothers, they had their comeback in 2019, and they didn't even change their sound. They had the exact same sound, but they were already perceived different just because it was a comeback after many years. And the same thing is going to happen. the, the same thing is going to happen to BTS, guys, because even if BTS releases the exact same song again, which they're not going to, because we've seen the past few years, their music has been completely different. But let's say, just imagine a thought experiment. If BTS releases the same music they've been releasing in 2021 and 2022, when they come back, if they release the exact same sound with the exact same image, the industry is already going to perceive them differently because comebacks are a big thing in Western pop culture, and they already give them so much credit just for having a comeback. Like I mentioned, the Jonas Brothers changed nothing. Their song Soccer sounded the exact same as their old songs. Actually, more pop and more youthful than some of their older songs. Um, but it's a comeback, so it's already for the Grammys to notice. And they were nominated to the Grammys just because it was a comeback. That was the only explanation. Comeback is going to be very rooted in HYYH. They were giving signs in Grammys. Not just the Grammys, but they mentioned it a couple of times. So yeah. They're going to do something for the most beautiful moment in life. I still don't know exactly what. I don't know if their comeback is going to be that 10th year anniversary project. Um, but yeah, already with that, the Western public doesn't really know that BTS can make music like the music that they've done for the most beautiful moment in life. So if they release that or something inspired by the most beautiful moment in life, that is already a big change for the general public and for the Grammys, because the Grammys only knows from Love Yourself tier to today when it comes to BTS. They only know that. Um, so they don't know the power of the most beautiful moment in life. I think it will be a movie or something, but you never know with BTS. I don't think a movie because I feel like, hmm, I don't know, maybe. Especially if it's something like Come Back to Me or Lost. Maybe they would do a very conceptual music video with a lot of acting. I can see that, especially because the most beautiful moment in life was like that. It was a bunch of music videos and short films with a lot of acting by the members. So maybe they would do something like that for their comeback. A documentary, I believe that's a 100% confirmed because they always do documentaries. They always do documentaries. Um, but again, evolved, definitely. Is it possible to dream of a BTS musical? They have so much material. Now, my question is, I see a lot of armies asking for a BTS musical. Now, my question is, do you want a BTS musical using their songs for a fictional story? So, for example, um, Mamma Mia, or what's the other one called? Green Day has a Broadway show with their songs, but it's like a fictional story. Or do you want BTS to actually act in a musical? Because I don't see that happening. Everyone says no, no what? Like the Green Day one, maybe. I feel like if they're ever going to do something related to musicals, it's going to be something like that. But I don't see them actually performing a musical. No musical. You guys don't like musicals? I like musicals. I don't know what people want. Yeah. BTS Cirque. I'm not even going to attempt to. A Cirque du Soleil. Um, that would be crazy. I think musical would be very fun. Yeah, I mean, I do love musicals. I just don't see BTS. I feel like if BTS does something, they are already like involved with it, or they have like they express their interest in that one thing. And they have shown zero interest in musicals. So I don't see it ever. At least not in the next 10 years. They already have a story. Bangtan Universe and the music. Yeah, so they technically do have a storyline. They can maybe continue that. Maybe a soundtrack. I've been an advocate for BTS to release soundtracks, especially for movies, because I want BTS to get an Oscar. Because so many Western artists do that. They release songs for TV shows, big TV shows and big movies, and then they get nominated for the Emmys and the Oscars. So they can get that. I just want BTS to do that. But that is just a personal thing. I'm not demanding them to do anything. I'm just saying that it would be cool. For an EGOT. Yes, BTS for EGOT. But first a Grammy. Okay, guys. So before I go, I just going to show one more time. These are the playlists on YouTube. You don't have to do anything except just play them. There's a 20-minute playlist, a 1 hour playlist, and a 3 hour playlist. So you can stream any of those. If you have time, you can do it manually or with a queue. But if you don't have time, just play the playlist. Please, just play the playlist. We really need these views for Mona Lisa and for Dope, because um, we really need them right now. Let's just say that. So, any last questions before I go? Bora, Lisa. Where's my sister? My sister can only be here on Fridays. So on Monday and Wednesday, I'm just here by myself talking about one specific topic. But on Fridays, I talked about the entire week with my sister and what happened with BTS and any videos that there are. We watch them on Friday. So on Friday is always with my sister, but on Monday and Wednesday, I'm here by myself. Does it have to be on the TV? No, you can stream these YouTube playlists anywhere on your phone or your computer, your laptop, your TV, anywhere. It doesn't really matter. You just have to listen to them. YouTube Music, you don't have to have YouTube Music, but you can stream them from YouTube Music or YouTube, regular YouTube. It doesn't really matter. You just have to click the playlist and listen to them. So that is all. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. And yes, don't mute, don't loop, just play the playlist, and that's it. You don't have to do anything else. So I'll see you guys on Wednesday. And yeah, make sure to listen to the playlist. So thank you, everyone. Bye. See you on Wednesday. Elaine, thank you so much. Thank you for the playlist and the live stream, Bora. Thank you so much, Elaine. I'll see you all on Wednesday. And bye. Thank you.